طيب بسم الله، السلام عليكم. كيفكم؟ إن شاء الله أنتم بخير وأموركم طيبة وميسرة. حضور الكريم، شاكرين لكم جدا حضوركم واقتطاعكم من زمنكم. اليوم هو جمعة إجازة، غايته نحن عندنا تقريبا كل الدول العربية عندها اليوم جمعة إجازة. فشاكرين لكم جدا على حضوركم، وخلوني أرحب بضيوفنا الكرام. عندنا ديفيد باو ودينيز بروبيت ومستر زاهي بوكامل. Today we are going to talk about the CPA exam and how to pass the CPA exam using the integration between Humam Academy and Gleim CPA review course and all the materials integrated together. So in this session السيشن بتاعنا بتاع اليوم هنتكلم عن about Humam Academy. الكلام بيكون بالانجليزي، مش مشكلة بتكلم لكم بالعربي، بعدين الجماعة دي بطريقتهم ما شغالة. طيب هنتكلم عن جلايم والميشن والفيجن بتاعتهم واباوت السي بي اي والتكنيكس فور باسنج the CPA exams والاكزام ويندوز والكارير اوبشنز فور سي بي ايز. يعني بعد تخلص السي بي اي الفرص اللي بتكون متاحه لك شنو. وهنتكلم اخر حاجه عن السي بي اي جلايم ماتيريالز اللي هي الميجا تيست بانك، الفاليو اللي ممكن يضيفها لنا. طيب ضيوفنا للسيشن عندنا ديفيد بو. ديفيد هو الجلوبال هيد في استراتيجي اند بزنس ديفلوبمنت لناس جلايم، عنده اكثر من 25 عام، وعنده ماجستير في الاكاونتنج وعنده ماجستير في التاكسيشن، وهو سي بي اي كمان. كذلك حنمشي لدينيس بروبرت، هي سي بي اي سي جي ام اي، وهي استاذه جامعيه وكذلك انستراكتور بالنسبه للفار والبار الناس جلايم، وعندها خبره ما شاء الله كبيره، وواحده من السبجكت ماتر اكسبيرتس في جلايم، يعني ناس من الناس البروفيشنالز على المستوى. وحبيبنا زاهي ما شاء الله عنده اكسبيرينس مع كميه من الشركات. كم سنه يا زاهي؟
فوق ال 15 سنة.
ما شاء الله عمر زول اكثر من 15 سنه. او زاهي هو انترناشونال ريجونال دايركتور لجلايم، المدير الاقليمي لجلايم على المستوى في الميدل ايست، ويعني على مستوى العالم اجمع. طيب لو سالتنا عن همام اكاديمي، نحن اونلاين اديوكيشن بلاتفورم، منصه تعليميه بنشتغل تو تايبس اوف كورسز. عندنا لايف كورسز وعندنا ريكوردد كورسز عشان انت تقدر تنجح، اللي هو بنسميها سيلف بيز كورسز، بحيث انك انت لو مشغول، لو مضغوط، لو ما لاقي زمن، لو فوتت المحاضره، اي حاجه بتلقاها متاحه قاعده متوفره لك. طيب الكورسات اللي احنا بندرسها حاليا، بندرس الاف ام اي، بندرس السي ام اي والسي اي اي والسي بي اي والسي دي سي اس. كل الكورسز اللي احنا بنوفرها في همام اكاديمي عندنا منها زي ما انا قلت لكم محاضرات مسجله ومحاضرات لايف. طيب عندنا الانستراكتور بتاعنا، الليد انستراكتور هو استاذ نعيم، مفترض يكون معانا اليوم لكن حاليا ما متواجد معانا. ان شاء الله حنبدا اول كورس في نهايه يناير، حيكون حنبدا بالفار باذن الله تعالى. طيب نحن عندنا learning management system فيه كل الاشياء اللي انت محتاج لها علشان تنجح. عندنا ابلكيشن بحيث انك تقدر تعمل داونلود لكل الليكتشرز وتقدر ترجع عليها فيما بعد تشاهد عادي، بعدين تقفل النت وتقدر تشاهد عادي. فعند الاشتراك معانا نحن بنوفر لك حاجتين، بنوفر لك المحاضرات الريكوردد، بنوفر لك المحاضرات اللايف في نفس الوقت، بحيث انك انت تقدر شنو ترجع للمحاضرات في اي وقت. طيب عندنا البيمنت اوبشنز، كل البيمنت اوبشنز متاحه عندنا في المنصه بتاعتنا، فبالتالي ما عندك اي مشكله. وعندنا انستولمنت اوفرز اللي هو سداد بالتقسيط او بالتجزئه، الحاجه دي برضه كذلك متاحه في السيستم بتاعنا. طيب ديفيد، not ديفيد سوري، زاهي stage is yours.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm gonna share my screen.
Let me stop mine. Okay.
Yes. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, now it's clear.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna give the floor to my colleague David, who's gonna, okay, one second. Who's gonna be taking over the slides, and then we're gonna be moving between me, David, and Denise. David?
Thank you, Zahi, and good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to sit with us and talk through the CPA. I'm very excited for all of you. I think by the end of the presentation, you'll see that CPA is really a tremendous license for you to pursue and opens up many, many opportunities. So congratulations to you for simply thinking about it, or maybe you're already on your journey. So I just want to say that out of the gate. Briefly, I'll just talk about Gleim. Gleim is a 50-year-old company. This is actually our anniversary year. And the main thing to take away is that Gleim was founded by an accounting professor who specifically is focused on, or was focused on, ensuring the success of all of its students and candidates that use Gleim. And so our focus has always been primarily on your success, the student success. Other organizations are obviously corporations very focused on making money. We are very focused on your success. So been in the business for 50 years. And if you follow what we have in our product, you have a very, very strong chance of succeeding, just because it has been fine-tuned and tested for many, many, many years. Zahi? So I touched on this briefly, but I will say it again. Gleim is a mission-based organization. We are focused purely on the success of our students. We give back to the accounting industry. We give back to our students by providing tremendous support as we can whenever you reach out. We try to provide the best value to you. And also we focus on providing you material that is very much focused on you succeeding and passing the exam. So we're very interested in making sure we're not wasting your time and ensuring your success. Di?
Denise?
Yes, thank you, Zahi. I thought I might start with a story, because I am at the university and I'm in touch with students who are at the university who are already also taking the CPA exam, and the those who graduated who are taking the CPA exam. And just in the last month, I heard from several students who have passed using Gleim. And they're just so pleased that they made that choice. I'm here to tell you a little bit more about the designation. The CPA designation, which both David and I hold, is a door opener. It's going to help you solidify your career by giving you the credentials that the public trusts. So CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant. It allows us to practice in the profession of accounting at a higher level, which ensures that the financial reporting that the public uses to make decisions, whether it's strategic decisions or whether it is decisions about investing, that the financial reporting is accurate and timely and relevant. So we're trusted financial advisors, and we help everyone. The world would be lost without CPAs. So reasons to become a CPA, besides holding the esteemed profession designation, is that there is great potential for earnings. The designation does give you potential professionally to be able to grow. You'll be moved up in the line for promotions because you have this designation. You'll have job stability because of this designation. You have the flexibility to do pretty much whatever you want. I teach and consult with my certification at this point in my career. And like I said earlier, it's one of the few professions that is truly licensed like a medical doctor. So it is got a lot of prestige and respect that is held with the designation. So I think you're making the right decision by deciding to become a CPA. Now, what do CPAs do? Lots of different things. I teach. CPAs do mostly work within the profession in the firms or within industry. by helping ensure that financial statements are properly created and communicate the economic events of the period. So CPAs manage the financial record keeping independently, or they might work with a team. If you ever think to yourself that a CPA is somebody who just sits behind the desk and doesn't interact with people, you're wrong. CPAs are always interacting with people, whether it's their team members or their clients. So it is definitely a people or a person business. CPAs serve as both a financial expert, and they're also a liaison to the C-suite, the highest level of management within the organization. We prepare and analyze reports. We make sure that all transactions are identified, measured, and reported. We organize the accounting records and make sure they're updated as needed. We perform regular detailed audits to ensure that those financial documents are accurate, as well as any expenditures or investments made. It is that role that ensures the financial future of an entity. Did you know that many studies have found that the #1 reason businesses fail is not because there's not a market or a product, but because of lack of financial management? Well, you can't manage your business's finances well without having financial statements that are accurate, timely, and relevant. So I think, Zahi, that there's a bit more for me before I turn it over.
Can I just interrupt one
Yeah,
second? I was going to add a
absolutely.
little bit more. So as Denise said, the critical nature of for a company to manage its finances, as you, in your early years as a CPA, you will be working very closely with these finances, but as you grow in your career, you might be working less with them, but the knowledge that you take as you grow up in the organization is incredibly unique and incredibly valuable. There are very few people in a company who will know as much as you will about actually how the company runs. And so long-term, it gives you tremendous flexibility to really grow your career. So I just want, to an earlier point you made, Denise, this is a CPA, a lot of people think is just tapping away at a calculator, but in reality, very quickly, you become a critical piece to the organization. So just wanted to get.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I love that perspective, David. I had one of the top 4 firms in my university class this last fall. It was the very, very first accounting class that's taught at the university. And they're, of course, learning about debits and credits and journal entries. And they're not necessarily as engaged because it's all very technical and not necessarily driven by strategy and the energy around people. And so this individual came in, and just 3 years out, I asked her, how much time are you spending on debits and credits and journal entries? And she said, none. That she is driving business decisions and working with senior leaders and clients to help ensure the success of the entity. Now, there's lots of job opportunities. Only a fraction are listed here. These might appeal to you. One of the ones that's not listed here that appeals to me is mergers and acquisitions. And I teach that class at the university, the Accounting for Mergers and Acquisitions, FASB, ASC 805 and 810. And this particular area of accounting is extremely exciting and full of fun opportunities. It's not listed here, but if we were to create a list of all of the opportunities and things you can do with your CPA, it would take 100 slides. So this list shows you what people commonly do. Starting out, they might enter into a role on the audit team, or as a senior accountant or a tax accountant. Advisory services has never been so hot. It's extremely popular right now. You might be the manager of accounting at a private entity. And eventually you might be in the C-suite. You can absolutely do that with the designation. In fact, as David said, you will be better prepared than anybody to take on those roles. So David, I'm going to turn it over to you, I believe, unless it's Zahi.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would like to add to that. I mean, the scope also is, I mean, the listing that we have mentioned is really important. But I mean, even for students who would like to work in the education space, even holding a CPA will give you that opportunity. Like Denise, for example, who teaches in the university and she's a CPA holder, or I mean, like David, who worked with different publishers and is a CPA. So basically, also from an academic perspective, if you want to work at the education, ed tech space, definitely is going to give you a lot of support if you hold a CPA. David, I think no, this slide is.
Yeah. So, and I was going to add, Zahi, the ever popular solopreneur today, the CPA designation, of course, is going to help you if you want to drive your own business, right? So this is my slide. I do want to talk to you a bit about the requirements to become a licensed CPA. There are 55 currently jurisdictions in which you can get your license. I'm currently a license holder in Wisconsin. I live in Colorado. I used to be a license holder in South Dakota. So all of the states in the US issue a license. And then there are some that are not states that also issue a license. And they all have these 4 common requirements. You need to have a proper amount of education. And I can tell you in Colorado, since that's what I advise on right now primarily, it is you can sit for the exam at 120 hours. Well, excuse me, it's a bachelor's degree, which is around 120 hours. You can be licensed with 150 hours, and you have to take an auditing class. So, and then there are 33 hours of accounting courses and 27 hours of business courses, and that is in Colorado. Now, in other jurisdictions, the education requirements might be different, but similar. So the example I gave you for Colorado might be similar to a jurisdiction you're interested in. And most of the states right now are allowing you to take your exam before you have the 150. And so there's no reason to not get started as soon as you're eligible to start taking the tests. By the time you want to file for licensure, though, you will have had to pass all 4 of the CPA exams. And those 4 CPA exams, we're going to talk about more in just a moment, are new this year. Well, we still have odd, far, and reg from prior years, but this is like year 1. 2024 is year 1 of the CPA evolution exam that David's going to talk about. So you have to pass the exams. Now, I talked about how education is different in every jurisdiction, but similar, and how your license will come from a jurisdiction. What you need to understand is that the examinations are uniform. That is, the exams are the same if you want to be licensed in Colorado as any other jurisdiction in the 55 jurisdictions. They are created and graded by the AICPA and administered by the Prometric centers. And then all of the results are, of course, communicated through NASBA, the National Association of State Boards of Accountancy. So the one thing that's not different here is the exams are always the same. That doesn't mean we'll get the same questions test by test, but there isn't a state-by-state exam. There's a uniform exam. Everyone has to have a certain level of experience, and that amount of experience is different by jurisdiction. I believe that Colorado is 1,800 hours. It might be 2,000 hours. So it's about 1 year of experience. And that experience needs to be, for most jurisdictions, under the supervision of an active CPA. So the experience requirement is different jurisdiction by jurisdiction. Some and most jurisdictions have a fourth requirement, and that is the ethics exam. The ethics examination is over the AICPA Code of Professional Conduct, and it is usually a take-home exam, something that you do online through the AICPA. It is testing your knowledge over the Code of Professional Conduct. Most jurisdictions do require that additional exam. So those are the CPA requirements from being eligible for the examination to being eligible for licensure.
Great. Thank you, Denise. And I think you guys, I mean, for anyone who wants to know more about the evaluation and application and everything else, please reach out to Al Humam team, and they're gonna be the right people to support you in these terms and to advise you on what state to apply for and what is the required documents and which evaluator that you need to reach out to.
So I'm sorry. I saw a question pop up. Is that what you were going to flag, Oman?
No, I'm just going to say something else. شباب بالنسبة للموضوع بتاع الايفالويشن محتاج بتاع الاديوكيشن دوكيومنتس كلها محتاج ايفالويشن. الموضوع متعب شوية، لكن أنا مريت به شخصيا. الآن طالب بتاع CPA وبعرف عملت ايفالويشن لكم شخص، فهو بس محتاج شوية شخص بيعرفه، وده نحن بنساعدكم فيه. أنت قرر، قول لنا أنا عايز أدرس CPA وبس تعال لنا، نحن بنمسكك من يدك دي، إن شاء الله بنوصلك ليدك دي بعد تنجح هذه إلينا. David, keep going.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to talk a bit about the exam itself, and I saw a question pop up around this, so I'll answer that. But one thing I will say is, you know, as Denise was talking, it sounds like a lot, and the CPA is definitely not a, you know, it's not a simple undertaking, but we'll be there with you the whole way. So, you know, you don't need to remember all these things. Just keep them in mind for now that, you know, there's a process to go through. You don't simply sit down and take a test one day. So you just keep that in mind. So regarding the CPA exam, someone had asked, how many exams are there and do you need to be in the US to take the exam? So there are 4 exams. And as Denise mentioned, the AICPA, who administers the exam, recently made a change to the exam. They're always updating what's on it to make sure that whoever passes is as relevant as possible for entering the workforce. And so quite recently, they made a relatively large change where they took the exam from 4 standard parts and eliminated one of those parts and gave candidates the opportunity to select a specialty that is of interest to them. So the exam now has 3 parts that are referred to as core, and that is one exam covers auditing, one exam covers financial accounting, and the last one covers regulations. And we have what's a little more detail on the next slide on that. And then what the AICPA said was, hey, if you're interested in a particular area, you can focus your last exam. So you have a chance to look at tax planning and compliance, which I know a lot of US tax work is being exported overseas. And so that's might be of interest to people on this call. You're going to look at there's one discipline referred to as ISC, or Information Systems and Controls. And that is really focused on all of the computerization and probably AI as we roll along that's being applied to accounting. And one of the things I always point out to people is accounting is numbers. And nothing is more, nothing is easier to work with when it comes to computers and AI than numbers. And so accounting is always incredibly advanced when it comes to use of digital technology. The last one is referred to as BAR, and that's Business Analytics and Reporting. And that's really around the financial reporting aspect of the job. So again, you have three core parts that you need to take, and then you can take one of these disciplines on top. I think we got all those. So I'll briefly run through this. So as I said, in the first exam, auditing covers the ethics and the responsibilities. Well, I should step back. So auditing is where an organization, an accounting firm would come into a business like Oman Academy and take a look at their finances, at their operations, and approve them, kind of give them the thumbs up or the thumbs down on their processes, on what they're reporting as revenue, you know, is there fraudulent behavior? They really dig in and kind of give a level of approval, and that's what happens with auditing. When you audit the organization, and then attestation means that you offer an opinion around how that organization is operating. And again, I'll just say that when you are moving up in the world of business, the fact that you as an accountant were able to offer an opinion as to how well an organization is running, that's pretty powerful stuff. So again, you know, you're looking at ethics, you're looking at the risk around the organization, you're looking at evidence. So you need to prove, you can't just say, oh boy, Oman Academy looks really honest. You have to prove it out. You have to run through some transactions and prove your theory. And then you form a conclusion and you report that conclusion. So that's auditing. Regulation is really around tax and regulations, as we talked about. So you're looking at the taxation of an organization or individuals and the laws around that. So you'll have some business law. Again, there's ethics here, but there's tax of property, of individuals, and of entities, meaning corporations. So, you know, you can already see as you've gone through two of the exams here, you know, is a company running well, and what about all the regulations and everything around it? So, you know, just to emphasize again, the CPA really is such a well-rounded, encompassing exam that I really want to congratulate you guys for thinking about it. The last one's financial accounting and reporting, which really is putting together the financial statements and understanding how they're put together. And so it's obvious how are they put together, but what I will tell you is when you get further along in your career, if you're ever in mergers and acquisitions or investment banking or anything like that, the ability to look at a financial statement and know how it's been put together and know what it's saying and know how it was built, not many people can do that. Pretty much nobody can do that. Very few people can do that. And I'll tell you who, the accountants know how to do that. And so, again, super strong degree. We can go to the next one, Zai. I'll just shoot through these quickly. These are the disciplines again. So a little more focus on either the analysis and reporting side of things, a little more focus on the data management. One thing I'll flag here, which is really critical, is just around data security. You know, you see it so much, and you know, organizations are constantly under threat from this. And so, I mean, I could rattle off several examples, but maybe I won't do that. But you know, being able to really stay on top of this and talk about this, again, tremendous strength. You know, I would argue if you go to a C-suite and you ask one of the top people what they think about data security, they would probably basically say, great, sounds good, but they don't really know what they're talking about. You will know what you're talking about, which is a great thing. The last one's tax compliance. And again, tax is an attractive area. If you're looking for a job, tax is a great way to go because they're always looking for people to work on it. And I used to do tax, and I'll tell you, it's actually incredibly fascinating. So with that, I think we're off to Denise is going to cover a few more slides.
No, David, it's going to be me now. So
I'm sorry. So
Yeah. So thanks, David, and also definitely thanks, Denise. So basically, what we're gonna discuss now is the 2025 CPA exam breakdown. So as David mentioned, so you're gonna have 3 core exams and 3 disciplines, which you need to choose one of them to sit for. All the testing time for all 6 sections is 4 hours. And the exams is divided into multiple choice questions and task-based simulation. So for audit, you're going to have 78 multiple choice questions and 7 task-based simulation questions. The score weighting for each of these types of questions would be 50%. And then for FAR, you're going to have 50 MCQ questions and 7 task-based simulation questions. The score weighting for each of these type of questions would be also 50%. In regulation, you're going to have 72 MCQ questions and 8 task-based simulation questions. As well, the score weighting for each of these questions type would be 50%. And then in bar, you're going to have 50 MCQ questions and 7 task-based simulation questions. Again, the score weighting for each of these exam questions type would be 50%. In ISC, it's going to be 82 MCQ questions and 6 task-based simulation questions. The MCQ questions, the score weighting would be higher this time. It's going to be 60%. And the task-based simulation score weighting would be 40%. In TSP, it's going to be 68 MCQ questions and 7 task-based simulation questions. And again, the score weighting for each of these type of questions would be 50%.
Can I just realize I didn't answer? I'm sorry, I'm on just before because I forgot. You can take. You do not need to go to the U.S. to take the exam. You can take the exam in the GCC. And I know for sure Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, there may be others, but certainly you do not need to go to the US. Sorry.
ثانك يو ديفيد. زاهي ممكن ترجع لي السلايد بتاعت الاكزام والاكزام ستراكشر؟
Yes. This one?
Yes, this one. طيب يا شباب، عندنا التوتال كله 6 سبجكتس، انت عندك فيها 3 اجباري. طيب ال3 الاجباري هي شنو؟ والاول واحده فيها الفار وفي الاوديت وفي الريجوليشنز. دي ال3 اجباري ما فيها اي تفاوض، دي انت لازم تمتحنها كلها. طيب شوف، انا التنوع بقى ماشي كيف. انا عايز امشي في الجزئيه بتاعت البيزنس اناليسيس الريبورتنج وادخل في شغل الشركات والاوديتنج والاشياء دي كلها. طيب عايز تعمل كده، شيل البار طوالي، شيل البار اللي هو البيزنس اناليسيس الريبورتنج. لو لشخص درس السي ام اي، الموضوع فيه سيميلاريتي كثيره جدا بالنسبه للجزئيه بتاعت البار. طيب عايز تمشي في الشغل بتاع الاي تي، شيل الاي سي. عايز تمشي في الشغل بتاع التاكسس، شيل التي سي بي. كلها هي كونكتد كده. طيب الامتحان كم ساعة؟ الامتحان 4 ساعات. ال4 ساعات عندك فيها 15 دقيقة بريك. طيب عندك ساعتين، عندك 15 دقيقة بريك بعد I think 2 testlets there is break. Am I right for the MCQs? Yes.
Yes.
طيب بعد عندك جلستين تخلصهم. الجلسة الأولى 25 سؤال مثلا، أتكلم عن الفار. الجلسة الثانية برضه بتكون 25 سؤال. عندك 15 دقيقة اختياري تاخذ بريك، والزمن بتاعك بيكون واقف. تطلع برا، تاكل، تشرب، تعمل الحاجة اللي أنت عايز تعملها، ترجع تاني. في حاجة اسمها تي بي اس. التي بي اس يا شباب عبارة زيها وزي الاس اي للناس اللي بتتكلم عن السي ام اي، بس هنا عندك صناديق بتاعت حوار جاهزة. لو رقم مفترض تعمل الكالكوليشن بتاعك وتخط الانسر. يعني في السي ام بيقول لك show your calculation. هنا you don't need to do this. ما محتاج انك تعمل الحاجة دي. just you need to write the number to make matching something like this. يعني تختار الإجابة الصحيحة. بيكونوا كم؟ 7. بيجيبوا لك سيناريو، تقرا الملفات بتاعته تحل، تقرا الملفات بتاعته تحل. طيب السي بي اي بتختلف في شنو من السي ام اي؟ السؤال بتاع السي بي اي دايركت واسهل من السي ام اي جدا، لانه السي ام اي الصعوبه بتاعته في انه السؤال ما مباشر، اما السي بي اي سؤال مباشر بالنسبه لك. طيب السي ام اي انا ممكن اقرا سيلف ستدي، القى اي ماتيريال لا افهم منه جروب اقدر اقرا بها. في السي بي اي الكلام ده ما ينفع. يو كان دو ذس، لانك محتاج لسيستم فعليا تقرا منه، سيستم تعمل براكتس عليه، محتاج لسيستم تحل عليه التي بي اس. لازم تتعود عليه علشان تدخل الامتحان. فهنا انت you treat you treat it as an investment. الموضوع في investment. You are giving your money, your time, your social relations, everything. انت بتخد اي حاجة وتعتبر الموضوع في investment، والريتيرن investment بتاعه عالي جدا. فالموضوع ده عبارة عن استثمار، بتدفع قروش تلقى عائد. طيب دفعت قروش في investment، ما قعدت حرسته وما قعدت ركزت معاه وما قعدت تابعت معاه، صدقني يعني افتح لك بغاله وخلاها فاتحه في الشارع، ما حتلقى الناس شالت البضاعه كلها وسرقوها. لا، نفس النظام، دي القرايه. الشهادات المهنيه والجامعه هناك بيقولوا لك اقرا، في زول بيقول لك اقرا، في الثانوي في البيت بيقولوا لك اقرا، اما هنا اوفيسر بيقول لك اقرا انت ونفسك وضميرك. وشوف انت بتقارن نفسك بالناس اللي حوالينك، بالكوليكس اللي حوالينك. لو تشوف زملائك بيعمل في شنو، والله في اللي عمل CMA، في اللي عمل CPA، في اللي عمل CI، وتبقى الحاجه اللي هم بيعملوها، انت بتقارن نفسك بالناس اللي حواليك بدفعتك في الكلاس. فالعالم مش متطور، الشهاده ضاعت الان، احنا في وضع بتاع حرب، الداتا ضاعت وغيره وغيره. امشي امتحن، جيب لك شهاده تشتغل بها في اي دوله. عايز تهاجر بتساعدك، شهاده محترمه. عايز تشتغل في الخليج، الخليج مسمى عفوا الشهادات الامريكيه. اوكي ديفيد اور زاهي.
Yes. So we're gonna speak now on the exam testing windows. So for the core, it's an open exam window. So you can sit any month in the year, you can sit for the examination. However, if you give your exam file, if the AICPA receives your exam file in Q1, on Jan 23rd or Feb 14th or March 19th or March 31st, you should expect to get your score released by Feb 7th or Feb 25th or March 18th or April 9th. In Q2, if the AICPA get your test file, exam file by April 23rd, May 16th, June 8th, or June 30th, you should expect to get the results on May 8th, May 28th, June 17th, or July 10th, sorry. In Q3, if the AICPA receives your exam file in July 23rd, August 15th, September 7th, or September 30th, you should expect to get your scores released on August 7th, August 26th, September 16th, or October 9th. In Q4, if the AICPA receives your exam file on October 23rd, November 15th, December 8th, or December 31st, you should expect the exam results to come on November 7th, November 25th, December 16th, or Jan 13th. On the disciplines, you have certain exam windows. It's not an open window as the core. So the exam window is between Jan 1st and till the 31st. And you should expect to get the results between March 14th. The Q2 exam window for the disciplines is April 1st to April 30th or June 1st to June 30th. And you should expect to get the exam results by May 16th or July 17th. For Q3, you should get, the exam window will be on July 1st till July 31st. And you should expect to get the results of your examination by September 11th. In Q4, the exam window will be October 1st till October 31st, and you should get the results on December 16th. So again, the core is an open window. The discipline, there are some certain windows that you need to look at. However, what I do certainly advise you from my experience, don't take it easy. So if it's an open window on the core, don't take it easy and say, okay, I can sit for the exams anytime, because when you are doing the evaluation, a state might change their eligibility requirement. So this is one of the risks that you might face. So when you do the eligibility in parallel, definitely I suggest you to book for the exam, stick to the exam date, attend all your classes, use the materials that you have from Gleim, and shoot it, sit for the exam, and inshallah you're gonna hopefully pass the exam. But don't delay and don't take it easy, like, by saying like, it's an open exam window, I can sit at any time. No, don't do that. You should, and I advise you definitely to book for your exams and put some timeline and dates in your plan. The majority of the states, the duration for you to finish the examination after you pass the first exam The majority of the states is between 30 to 36 months. But again, it's important that, you know, that you put a timeline and a target in your mind to finish it in 2 years, because this definitely, as Humam is saying, it's an investment and you need to get the return on investment ASAP. So basically, the earlier you finish, the return on investment that you're going to get. What you're going to be receiving from Al Humam Academy when it comes to Gleim materials. So Humam CPA classes will bundle the Gleim CPA Mega Test Bank, which include the digital books. It's an exam-oriented book, bite-sized lessons. It has 100% content coverage of the CPA learning outcomes. So the book resource that you're gonna receive from Gleim is the only resource that you need to really read and go through for your CPA exam preparation. Also, you're gonna have an access to a realistic exam day experience, which means that our test bank interface is similar to the official CPA exam interface. In other words, we are not only preparing you from a content perspective, but also we are preparing you from an environment perspective. So we're going to help you practice on how to move from one question to another, how to work on the simulation questions, as Humam was mentioning a minute ago, how to use the calculator, how to flag the questions, how to time yourself. These are all very important elements when you are preparing for the examination, and the Gleim Mega Test Bank review course will certainly help you to do that. The duration of the access will be for 18 months, and which we think definitely you will be able to finish the sections and smash the exams or whatever part you are preparing for before the 18 months. Denise, to you.
Mute is off. So I think that you have everything that you need to prepare for the exam and to have the confidence going into the exam that you're going to give it your best. And there is a certain amount of responsibility that you bear in this process. So I do want to talk a little bit about that. One is that the Gleim materials are proven to be successful. You need to use them. And most of us as reviewers or learners prefer one way of learning, right? Like I like to just kick back and watch videos, but what I don't want you to do is just tick the boxes. You have to take each study session seriously and ask yourself, did I really come away from that study session getting the knowledge and skills that I was supposed to? Or was I distracted by my cell phone? Or was I distracted by maybe the environment? Gleim has everything laid out so that you will have access to everything that you need to pass, but you need to do it. And it can be a fun process. I actually think that our candidates who use Gleim enjoy the process as much as is possible. So make sure that you use all of the components of your Gleim product, and then make sure that you attend all of your live classes as well. And then when the exam day comes, it is important to manage your exam. And I want to talk a little bit about the slide that Zahi went through that showed all of the different number of multiple choice questions you have to complete. I think it was like 78 for odd multiple choice questions. And then you have to do 7 or 8 task-based simulations as well. One of the most common things that we hear from candidates is that they ran out of time on their task-based simulations. Those task-based simulations are big problems. So what I want you to do is try to get through the multiple choice questions in 2 hours, and hopefully your first task-based simulation testlet as well. So get through as much as you can in the first 2 hours, because those last 2 testlets that have task-based simulations in them are going to take the better part of 2 hours. Some of those questions will take 40 minutes each. So you're going to want to make sure that you watch the clock during the exam and don't let yourself run out of time on those task-based simulations, because they are bigger problems and they're worth half of your final score. So you're going to want to make sure you take that time management seriously on exam day. You will study harder for this exam than you've ever studied in your life, probably. And that's okay. It's not designed to be an easy pass, but you can pass if you put in the time and you study intentionally and mindfully so that you are making the most out of each study period. That's my best advice.
Yes, thank you so much, Denise. And I think one more advice that I would give you, being more than 15 years in this industry, don't leave the test while you are studying and preparing for the examination. Don't leave the test bank questions till the end. Definitely, you should do the test bank question and work on the practice questions after each and every lesson. So you should do the reading, and in parallel, you should work on the test bank questions as well. Don't leave them till the end. It's important that you work on the test bank questions as much as you can, because it's going to give you more insights on how to deal with the questions on the exam day.
Great advice.
Yeah. Finally, I would definitely recommend you to download our CPA exam guide, which includes all the information you need when it comes to the CPA program and examination. For example, how to study for the exam, when to sit for the exam, for those who are asking on the exam centers. So this will give you a good insights on where are the international exam centers available, how to allocate time during the exam, how the exam is graded, the multiple choice questions and essays, which we covered, test taking tips and techniques, an effective strategy for CPA exam success. So all this information are there. And I think definitely, Al-Humam Academy team members will certainly help you through the process. Definitely also Gleim will be also supporting you in order to make sure that you are getting the best content to prepare for the CPA examination. I think this is it from our end. Humam, back to you.
1 minute. I'm answering. طيب شباب، أول حاجة تاني أكرر شكري. نحن الليلة كانت عندنا محاضرة، طفيت الشغلة. طيب كانت عندنا محاضرة بتاعت استماع مجانية لو في زول عايز يحسن اللغة الإنجليزية بتاعته. CPA محتاجة جهد منكم ومحتاجة شغل كتير جدا جدا جدا. هي قروش ما رخيص أبدا، مكلفة، لكن الحاجة الكويسة إنه أنت ما بتدفع طوالي، لا الموضوع مقطع. عايز مثلا تقيم ورقك 160 ل 200 دولار، بعديها هتدفع للولاية 120 دولار، نجي للماتيريال والكورس هتدفع مثلا 4-5 شهور تاني، هتمشي تدفع للامتحان. انت بس بعد تتخطى المرحلة بتاعت التقييم دي الباقي تاني هين، الباقي دفع رسوم بتاعت امتحان ورسوم بتاعت كورس. فدي الحاجة اللي الولاية بتعتمد يا أمينة على كل ولاية. في بعض الولايات 36 شهر وفي بعض الولايات 18 شهر. انت وحظك. تعال لنا، احنا ما بنرميك في، بنديك ولاية من 36 شهر تتمهل فيها تماما. والفترة بتاعت تبدأ من الباس في الإكزام بتاعك، من تنجح في الامتحان، صح يا زاهي؟
نعم.
ايوه، من تنجح في اول امتحان شيل الفاونديشن لكل السكشنز، الفار امتحن الفار، ومن ثم امس على شنو عايز تمشي من مجال البيزنس والمحاسبه، مش الفار، ومن ثم امشي على السكشنز التاليه. لكن الفار هو الاساس بتاع كل شنو، بتاع كل السكشنز. طيب حابين بتدرسوا ناس خارج السعوديه. نحن البيزنس موديل بتاعنا اونلاين، بنشتغل مع من اي مكان. انت راقد في سريرك، لكن كده ما بتنجح. اذا بتقرا بتحضر المحاضره انت راقد في سريرك لانك بتنام. من مكانك. محتاج لابتوب، محتاج لدفتر، محتاج لقلم وآلة حاسبة، وأحضر المحاضرة معانا برواقة. والكورسز بتاعتنا هي ستيب باي ستيب كورسز، وديزايند إنه تبدأ من السكراتش. أنت حتى لو ما بتعرف محاسبة وبالمناسبة لو ما بتعرف محاسبة تقدر تمتحن السي بي اي لأنه محتاج بكالوريوس في المحاسبة. فمثلا زي سي ام اي بتجي شايل بكالوريوس تفسير هندسة أي حاجة بتخش طوالي. أما السي بي اي لا، محتاج لباتشلر ديجري في المحاسبة ويمر على تقييم وأقل حاجة 120 ساعة. ده التقييم. في بعض الولايات لسه ما عدلت ل 150 ساعة، لكن الغالبية العظمى من الولايات حولت ل 150 ساعة إلا تجيب ماجستير. فحتى موضوع الساعات الناقصة ده احنا بنظبطه معك، بس انت تعلينا وإن شاء الله أمورك طيبة. خلاص خلونا نحول للغة الإنجليزية. Thank you Zahi and thank you Denise and thank you David. It's a pleasure for me to join you to have you today and thank you very much for all this information and insightful. Denise, I'm watching your videos and I'm enjoying it.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. في حاجة تانية يا زاهي ولا نختم؟
No, I think we're done. I certainly second David. I congratulate you for thinking of the CPA. I think this is the first right step you have done, but I think you should quickly take the decision and register for the program. Don't think a lot. Sometimes thinking a lot will waste your time and you will lose some opportunities. So basically, if you meet the accounting credits and if you're all set to be a CPA, then I would certainly recommend you to go ahead for it and start your preparation. And from our end, we wish you good luck, and hopefully next season or next time we meet, we'll find a lot of CPA holders with us.
Thank you, Zahi. And there is one question. Do you need to to have an experience in audit to become a certified CPA? No. You just need to do the evaluation, do the exam. After passing, there is ethics exam for some states. أنا بتكلم بالإنجليزي معلوم. محتاج تعمل evaluation وتنجح في الامتحان، وبعضها الاكسبيرينس بتشيلها under active CPA، يمضاها لك وتقدمها للولاية ويحصل لك اللايسنس بتاعك لكل التفاصيل. طيب thank you everyone. Thank you David. Thank you Zahi. Thank you Denise. And for the audience, thank you very much for cutting your time. Today is holiday in all Arabic countries. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a
Bye.
great day.